Hey everyone, welcome back to my Excel tutorial channel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use the SUMPRODUCT function in Excel to sum values that meet a certain criterion in a closed workbook. Okay, this is a great alternative if you are encountering a value error when using SUMIF with closed workbooks. So let's jump into the demo quickly and then take a look at what we are looking at here. So on your screen, you can see on the right hand side a list of salespersons, items that they sold, ranging from smart TV to laptops to tablets and whatnot. And then also the total sales amount and then the bonus. Okay, so our goal here, when you bring your eye to the left hand side, our goal here is to find the total sum for each of these items: smartwatch, laptop, smart TV, and tablet, the total sales amount for each of these countries. And this file comes from 3 different countries. It comes from Japan, China, and India, and they all look alike. Okay, so you can take a look at the China file, which is the same, almost the same structure, but they are with the same salespersons. Okay, so we have the similar file for India as well. I'm going to jump right into the Japan file because that is what we are going to sum first. Okay, so now I'm going to use the SUMIF function to evaluate the total sales amount of smartwatches in Japan. Okay, so the SUMIF function starts with SUMIF. So the SUMIF, we have to provide a range on which we are going to apply the criteria, and the criteria we are looking at here is the smartwatch. So the range, where are the smartwatches? The smartwatches are in column F on the right hand side. So I'm going to go ahead and select column F. And then I bring my comma. The next item I'm selecting is the criteria. What is the criteria? The criteria is smartwatches, which is in C6. Okay, the formula is covering it a little bit, but it's in C6. So I'm going to put in the C6 and then press F4 3 times to lock the column C in place. Okay, because we are not moving from one column to the other. And then bring our comma. The next item, looking at the tooltip right here, is the sum range. What are we trying to sum? We are looking for the total sales amount. So since total sales amount is in column G, so I'm going to select column G, and our formula is done. Just close the parentheses and then press the enter key. So it says it's $11,660. Okay, so let's check to make sure that this is right. So we have one smartwatch here, another smartwatch here, and 2 smartwatches here. And the total, when you look down here, it says it's 11,660. It means our formula is working. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and then, instead of rewriting the formula, just drag it down. So this has calculated the total sales amount for each of the items sold in Japan. The next step is to do the same thing for China and India. But because I've written the formula for Japan, I'll just copy and paste and then just change the name of the countries. So I'm going to go ahead and copy the formula here and then paste it right here. Okay. And then select China and then replace Japan with China. Okay. So I'm going to replace anywhere I see Japan, I replace it with China. And then it's replaced. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing for India. So select India. So anywhere I see Japan, I'm going to replace it with India. So this calculates the total sales for each item in all the 3 countries. Okay. Now, SUMPRODUCT function. Okay. So the SUMPRODUCT function starts with the SUMPRODUCT. SUMPRODUCT. And then if you want to use the function argument box, you can just, after typing the name of the function, you can press Control A, and then it brings the function arguments window where you can start putting in your inputs. So the first thing we need is an array. What is the array that is needed here? Is the item sold is an array. Okay, that is where we find the smartwatch. So the item sold, so I'll go ahead to Japan and then select the first array, and this should be equal to, so I put in an equal to sign here. It should be equal to uh, smartwatch, which is supposed to be in J6. So cell J6. And then I can lock the J in place by putting a dollar sign in front. And you can notice that I have a bunch of true and falses here. Okay. True means that the first item in that list is true for a smartwatch. And we can check. When you look on the right hand side, the first item is a smartwatch, and we are looking for smartwatches, so it is a true. The next item is false because it's not a smartwatch. Okay. It goes on and on and on until we get to John Smith's sale of a smartwatch, and it becomes true again, which we can see it here. Okay, before we go to the next array, we can decide to change this true and false into zeros and ones, where false is a zero and true is a one. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this formula in parentheses, and then put a negative sign, double negative sign. Once you do that, it converts the true and falses to zeros and ones. Okay. And then the next array is going to be the what we are trying to sum, and that is the sales amount. Okay. So we click on the arrow here and then select the sales amount. So what this function is generally telling me is that find me or give me the total sales amount for all the items sold that is equal to smartwatch. Okay, so I can click on OK, and it calculates this for me. I'm going to go ahead do the same thing that I did on the other side, and then copy and paste here, and then go ahead and change Japan to China. Place all. Do the same thing right here. Change Japan to India. So when you look on these two tables, you notice that the formulas match. They are doing the same thing, and everything is fine. Now, this is where the difference comes from. When any of the files is closed, what happens? We have an issue with the SUMIF function, and that is what I'm trying to demonstrate here. So I'm going to go ahead and save this file. You need to be saving your work as you go along. And then I'm going to grab the India file and just close this file. Once I close this file, when I go into or step into one of these cells, you notice that it generates an error. So if I send this workbook to my coworker and he or she opens the file, the India columns show these errors. And the reason being that the source file is closed. Let me go ahead and do the same thing with the SUMPRODUCT counterpart. Okay, I'm going to step into the formula. You notice that even though the India file is closed, the error is not occurring here. So that is the advantage of the SUMPRODUCT function over the SUMIF function when they are evaluating items in a closed workbook. So there you have it, folks. I've shown you how to use the SUMPRODUCT function in Excel to sum values that meet a certain criterion in a closed workbook. Okay, this is a great alternative if you are encountering the value error when using SUMIF with closed workbook. As always, If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Excel tutorials.